These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Duncan every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Duncan is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. You know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Elena.
I am Ash.
And this is Morbid.
.com.
No, it's just Morbid.
Yeah, I don't think morbid.com exists.
No, I don't think it does.
And if it does, it doesn't belong to us.
Yeah, it's not ours, so.
What's up, brothers? It's Vanderpump Rules finale night.
Yeah!
That's how I feel. This season was hard and interesting, but I'm very worried it's going to be the last season of Vanderpump.
I feel like it might be.
Yeah.
You know?
I want them to go out on a higher note, personally.
Yeah.
Like, this just feels so sad.
Yeah, I think it was just like, you know, they had to ride the wave of Scandival.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there was like only so many places you can go after that.
Uh-huh.
And none of them are really positive.
No, it's very true.
So I do feel like there was a cosmic shift, though, after that I was a little confused about.
Yeah, I felt a cosmic shift myself, actually, when I didn't even talk about this. This is now like a Bravo podcast.
There we go.
You know, sometimes it doubles.
Yeah.
But when I went to Sir, I felt a cosmic shift.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
So many people commented on the pictures that I posted and were like, oh my God, girl, did you go to Sir? And I was like, yes.
Yes, I did.
And no photos exist of it.
Yeah.
I'll say no more than that. I just won't elaborate.
It was just an experience.
Yep, you could call it that. But on the way to Sir, I had this Uber driver who was the coolest lady ever. Her name's Pauline. And she was like, oh, you guys are going to Sir? Like, are you big, like, Bravo, like, Vanderpump Rules fans? And I was like, oh, like, 100%.
You're like, that's why we're going to Sir.
That's why I live and breathe. That's why we're going to Sir. And turns out she has a podcast called Tender Loving Care ? And it's wicked good. And she also had so much tea that like I can't even share all of it here. But she has some that like the tea then goes onto her podcast. So definitely go listen to that podcast.
Oh, look at that.
And I told her, I was like, I'll shout you out.
Girl.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was so good.
Well, speaking of podcasts, I have a podcast shout out too.
You do?
I think I've shouted out this person's podcast before, but like I've been listening to it lately, and she's just delightful and does such a good job. It's the Hello Sydney podcast.
That's such a good name for a podcast.
It's so good because her name is Sydney.
Yeah, how do you like that? You have to have a podcast if your name is Sydney and you're into horror.
It's Horror Chronicles on TikTok. She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's a great follow. We love her. We love Sydney. And I'm telling you, her podcast is a really great listen. She like covers every horror movie you can think of. She does deep dives. She knows her shit. She's someone who I like go to her for horror movie recommendations. Like if she says a movie is good, I'm like, it's probably good. Like, I'm not worried about it at all.
That's good to know. I could probably use that for Scream, because our podcast Scream, usually like whenever I pick my movies, I'm just like Googling something. Like,
yeah, you're just trying it out.
Yeah, like giving it a try, because
go to Sydney.
I'm new to the horror world.
Yeah, go to Sydney. She'll steer you in the right direction.
I will.
She just covered all 4 Hell House LLC movies in one episode.
There's 4.
There's 4,
and you've only shown me 1.
No, I've shown you 2.
No, I've only watched 1.
Oh, I think I've watched 1, 2. I don't think I've watched 3, and I watched part of 4.
Are they all good?
To finish 4. I love them.
Yeah,
I think nothing beats the first one, but
the ending of the first one fun. Fucked me up.
Hell House LLC is such an underrated movie.
I agree.
I think it's so good.
No, we're halfway.
I know, and it's got. That and Houses October Built always make me just in the Halloween mood.
I feel like Halloween is like, last year we had like a really good Halloween, but there was a lot going on personally, and I like had to like postpone my wedding. I was like in the thrust of wedding planning, and I feel like this year, like not having like a big party, having to plan a big party like looming over me is going to be great.
Oh yeah, you can just concentrate on Halloween.
Yeah, because I loved my wedding, obviously. Like, it was absolutely fantastic. But once you're done with that, you're like,
Halloween.
Love being married. Let's celebrate the shit out of Halloween.
Oh, and that reminds me that, sorry, we're just like, I need a minute before we get into part 3. So
this is called procrastinating.
Yeah, this is like delaying the inevitable is what this is called. But we did a live stream show at Blackcraft Cult in Salem.
It was so fucking cool.
The other day, and we covered the Salem witch trials and the story of Martha Carrier, and it was so much fun. Blackcraft Cult is so amazing. I love that story. I love that brand.
I do too.
A big loyal Blackcraft Cult girly, so it was really amazing to be able to do it there. And they were all so sweet. And they walked us through their haunt that they have in Salem.
No, I'm so fucking excited,
guys,
for that.
When I tell you,
I can't wait.
This haunt is so elite.
No, it's on another fucking level.
Every room we walked in, I kept being like, "This is my Disney. This is my Disney."
No, that's
I love
a direct quote of what she was saying.
I kept turning around and just being like, "This is beautiful. I love this so much." Like, they did such a good job. So if you happen to be in Salem during the spooky season this year, definitely go to their haunt, because they're awesome people, awesome brand, and the haunt is fucking top tier.
No, it's so good.
So just had to say that.
Also, one more thing, just while we're at it, we have a lot of new merch over on the Wondery store. We have new drinkware, we have new t-shirts, and we have keychains that are really cute.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go grab those, go ahead.
Yeah. And if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you want to, go right ahead.
If you want to, go for it.
We're not pressuring you.
We would never pressure you.
Do what you want. Be your own person.
Live your own life.
They're really comfy, though. But yeah, I think, and you can also, one thing I am going to pressure you into doing is buying the pre-ordering the Butcher Game.
I'll always pressure you into that.
No, I won't pressure you. Only if you feel like you want to.
I will pressure you. You have to.
But it's coming out September 17th, and you can pre-order it. And there's a playlist to go along with it on Spotify, so you can search the Butcher Game playlist that Zando has on their thing, and I've shared. So it's a cool playlist that I listened to while I was writing it.
Yeah,
and it's not like bullshit. That's my playlist that I was listening to while I was writing it. I have a very specific playlist.
Not even just like in the act of writing it. She listened to that like throughout the entire writing process.
Yeah.
Like, when we would go get coffee in the morning
would be
together,
playing.
that would be on. And it's a baller playlist.
It's like I have to do that for each thing that I write. It just puts me in a place.
I agree.
But so that's fun. And you can pre-order, and pre-ordering is really fun.
I like pre-ordering.
We're going to be sneaking some peeks out there, little quotes from the book that we're going to be popping out onto social media every now and then so you can get a little taste of what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. So you can go to thebutchergame.com and that'll give you links to all the places you can pre-order the book.
Yay.
If you would like to do that. And again, it's really cool because sometimes you get the book like a day before you're supposed to when you pre-order it.
And that's like a national holiday.
That's really fun.
I already finished it and I'm like really excited to read it again.
I love that.
I feel like I have to before it comes out, like
you got
to the earth.
To the earth.
Which I kind of feel like even reading it like for the first time, like with my ARC, my advanced reader. I'm an advanced reader and I have a copy. Like I feel like that was like my second go through because I always read it while you're writing it too.
But it's like bits and pieces.
I also can't wait to listen to the audiobook.
Yeah, it's all very exciting.
It is all happening, Sheena Shea,
It's
tonight
true.
on Vanderpump Rules and here in this office.
And you know what? I guess we've gotten through all the fun stuff.
I know.
Talked about all the frivolous stuff.
You don't think there's anything else?
Talked about all the exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And shouted some podcasts out.
Which we love to do.
Which we love to do. And now we have to get into part 3 of Fred and Rose West.
Okay, part 3 means 75%
yeah,
done by the end of it.
We're getting there. This one's going to be tough, but all of them are. So
in their own ways.
Again, a blanket statement over all of them. I'll give, before each one, I'm going to give you the blanket trigger warning that this is very brutal. Sexual assault is all over this. Very brutal sexual assault. And there's, child abuse. There's abuse of all kinds. It's really awful. So, if this isn't for you, I get it. And we'll give you something else in the next one. So here we go. When we last left off, we talked about Linda Goff, who went missing. Her mother, June, had showed up at the West house looking for her. And Rose answered the door wearing Linda's slippers.
When she saw all her clothes.
Yeah,
on the
she saw all her
back.
clothes hanging on a line in the backyard. And Rose just told them, yeah, I don't know. She said she was going to a hotel.
And said that. And like told everybody else that she like hit her kids.
Yeah, that they had to let her go because she hit one of the kids.
Like, shut the fuck up, Rose.
It only gets worse from there. After the murder of Linda Goff, they waited 7 months before finding their next victim. They did go long periods of time sometimes between victims.
You wonder what they were doing in the middle of all that, though.
That's the thing. I'm like, was all their ire on their children at that point? Like,
or I'm sure there's victims that we don't know about.
Oh, I'm positive there's victims we don't know about for sure. The details of this one, the abduction and murder, are kind of murky, like many of them, because we're kind of going off of
their accounts.
Fred and Rose's account, and also, the evidence that they could get from these things, but you just kind of have to piece it together. But like many of Fred and Rose's victims, Carol Cooper, who was known as Kaz.
Oh, what a cool nickname.
Isn't that a cool nickname?
Kaz.
She had a difficult upbringing, like most of them. They seemed to prey on these, people who were vulnerable.
Yeah.
Her parents separated when she was just 4 years old, and she lived with her mother. In 1966, when Carol was 8 years old, her mother passed away.
Oh, God.
And she was sent to live with her father. And when she reached adolescence, she became, according to people around her, rebellious and defiant. She got in trouble a lot. She was kind of in and out of, having issues with, authorities and authority figures. She would occasionally run away from home. She was just going through it.
I think if my mom died at 8 years old, I might feel similar.
Yeah. So by the fall of 1973, Carol's father lost patience with the entire thing, and she was placed at the Pines Children's Home in Worcester.
God.
This was about 25 miles from Gloucester. Now, on November 9th, 1973, Carol was given permission by the staff at Pines to go on an overnight visit to her grandmother's house. Which, like, this whole thing is just really sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to get permission to go
to your grandma's house?
I don't know. It does, it all just, makes my heart sad.
It does.
But she was going to be coming back the next morning to the Pines to attend a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
So there was very strict, this is what you're doing. The next day, Carol returned to Worcester for the appointment as expected. But later that day, her boyfriend dropped her off at the bus station around 9:15 p.m., the expectation that she was going back to her grandmother's house. but she was never seen again
Not
after
the
being
bus
dropped
stop.
off at the bus. And of course, the bus stop. Now, a huge, very extensive search was made in the days following her disappearance, but they couldn't find any evidence of her. No sign of Carol, no indication where she could have gone. I mean, it was like she vanished into thin air. Investigators believe that what happened is Fred and Rose West picked Carol up while she was hitchhiking and brought her back to the house. I'm not sure why they think she was hitchhiking since it was a bus stop.
Just gonna ask.
I don't know where that comes into play, but that is what most sources are saying. They believe she was brought back to the house where she was tortured, raped, and murdered, then dismembered by Fred and buried in the cellar.
My God.
When her remains were excavated because she was buried in the cellar and then moved. So she was excavated from her grave, and they found the tape mask was still wrapped around her skull.
Oh.
And pieces of rope and braided cloth were also found in the grave. And like the others, there were several tiny bones missing from her hands and feet.
Which is just so disturbing.
And that seems to be a thing.
Yeah, because you mentioned that in the last part with a couple of the bodies.
And there was also a cervical vertebrae and breastbone that were missing.
Whoa.
Yeah. Investigators believe they were kept as trophies.
Oh, that's heinous.
While Carol appeared to have suffered the same fate as their previous victims, what they did find was something a little unusual with her.
Yeah.
They found, quote, an unusual gouge mark in the skull, which suggested that Carol may have been stabbed in the head.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And again, she had the same masking tape mask over her face and head. Like that one piece of their pathology.
It's so disturbing. I'm not kidding you. In the middle of the night last night, I woke up and it's all I could think about.
I can't stop thinking about it. It's just because it's so there's so many layers to it. They're inflicting such terror and panic.
And to think of even doing that.
Well, and there's also clearly some kind of thing where they're dehumanizing this person.
Yeah,
they're taking away their face.
Yeah, they don't want to see them.
You think about it, you remove the head from somebody's body, they don't feel like a human anymore. You know what I mean? It takes away a little bit of the humanity there.
Yep.
So covering their head and face in masking tape makes them like a doll.
Yeah.
And it's that's a whole other issue here.
It's really a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Now, up until this point, we've said it many times, all the West victims had, a few things in common. And one of the biggest things they had in common was that they had very difficult or traumatic backgrounds or home lives. That's been across the board. And, as goes oftentimes the case with serial killers, personal histories really makes like these ones can make it easier for them to groom easier for them to manipulate,
Of course.
easy to make them get into a car with a stranger or accept a ride. And unfortunately, sometimes, and this is why they choose people that have difficult backgrounds, sometimes they believe they're going to be less likely to be missed.
Yeah.
Because people are going to believe that they ran away. Oh, they always disappear.
Yep.
You know, and these kids have been groomed their whole lives to survive.
Yeah.
You know, but so they'll get in a car with somebody to get to the next place because they need to get there.
Right.
You know, like they're not thinking about, oh, this person could be the end. Mm-hmm. And it just like kills me that they picked people like kids that they believed no one would look for. Like
it's sad.
Fucked up.
Yeah. I don't even know.
But their next victim came from a very different background.
Really?
And her absence was very much noticed very quickly.
Okay.
21-year-old Lucy Parrington was from an upper middle class family. Her father was a chemist. Her mother was an architect.
Wow.
Her uncle Kingsley Amos was a well-known novelist.
Oh, okay.
And unlike the previous young women who were described as having like defiant personalities, getting in some trouble, like, kind of being a little nomadic in the sense that they would be in and out of, people's lives and living situations. Lucy was described as very popular. She was a clever, very, very well-liked woman. She would like, she followed the rules. She didn't get into trouble. She didn't disappear. She had very close bonds to people around her. And in December 1973, Lucy was in her final year at Exeter University, where she was studying medieval English.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is such a cool. I was like, wow, Lucy seems cool.
She
does.
They
all do. They all seem like they had these like unique personalities. Some of them weren't appreciated for those unique personalities. But she had also recently converted to the Roman Catholic faith and took her spirituality very seriously.
Okay.
So, that Christmas, Lucy had been staying with her mother in Gloucester for the break. And on the night of the 27th, she got a ride to Cheltenham to visit her friend Helen Render. Now, according to Helen, they hung out together. They spent the evening talking about furniture and working on Lucy's application to the Courtauld Institute in London, because that's where Lucy was hoping to actually continue her medieval studies.
Wow.
So she was going to keep going. So they had like a nice night, like,
planning for the future.
Planning for the future, hanging out, talking, just,
being friends.
Lucy had left Helen's house around 10:15 p.m. and she walked a short distance to the bus stop.
Oh.
She never boarded the bus. And she wasn't even seen at the bus stop, in fact.
Oh,
but
wow.
Helen said she was walking to the bus stop.
Maybe they got her like near the bus stop.
Yeah. Now, when she didn't return that evening, Lucy's mother called the police immediately because, again, this isn't a case of she could be coming later. Maybe she got held up. No, nope, this isn't her. The following day, a massive search began. And given that she was an adult because she was 21, and it was a holiday, there was a hope that maybe she had met a boy or gone to visit more friends from investigators.
Yeah.
But obviously her family knew that was not the case.
No.
And as the days passed, even with the investigators, that hope was seeming a little misplaced. They were like, this isn't making sense.
Right.
A police spokesperson told the press 6 days after Lucy went missing, as time goes on, we are getting more concerned. But this girl has been very happy at the university. And if she had gone off, we would hope that she would return with the rest of the students on Thursday. Now, the concern and anxiety and honestly panic started to grow when Thursday came and went, and there was still no sign of Lucy. She didn't show back up at the university. The chief superintendent, Bill Turner, said, "We must assume that some harm has come to her. From what we have been told by her relatives and friends, she is not the type of girl that would disappear voluntarily." Now, in the first weeks of January, an extensive search went underway. Investigators were dragging the local rivers and ponds, any water sources. Uniformed air officers were conducting a door-to-door search. Roadblocks were set up to question drivers along the main roads, and nothing.
Wow.
No sign of Lucy. By mid-January, detectives started to wonder whether there was a connection between the disappearance of Lucy and Carol Cooper, who had gone missing 2 months earlier.
Right.
So a police spokesperson said, "Details of the Worcester case are being considered by us to determine the possibility of a link in the girl's disappearance." Now, despite the suspicion that Lucy and Carol's cases were connected, 20 years would pass before investigators would finally learn what happened to both of those women.
20 fucking years?
20 years, they had no idea what happened to Lucy and Carol.
Wow.
And even when they found it out 20 years ago, we're still getting vague details here.
Right.
Lucy, unfortunately, was among the bodies exhumed from the West Cellar.
Oh, that's so sad.
Her body was dismembered, and they described it as being, quote, crammed into a shaft between leaking sewage pipes, along with a rope, a knife, a section of masking tape, and 2 hair grips.
My God.
Like the others, there were several small bones missing from her skeleton. And although the details about what she must have endured while she was in that house are unknown, probably thankfully, detectives believed she was held captive in the West home for nearly a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you think, because obviously this is now like a pattern of like the missing bones, do you think that was torture done while these girls were still alive? Or do you think it was when Fred dismembered them, a trophy kind of thing?
I could see it, unfortunately, both ways.
Yeah, I feel the same.
They are sadistic.
Right.
They're sadistic.
And just to think like she was there a week, like what were you doing to her for a week?
And they tortured, and they took great pleasure in torturing people. So,
and they think she was there
that
for a week because like Fred admitted that she was.
Well, that belief is actually based on the fact that on January 3rd, Fred checked in at the Gloucester Royal Hospital with a serious laceration on his right hand, and they believe he sustained this injury while he was dismembering her body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, when he was interrogated later, Fred claimed that he and Lucy had been having an affair.
Girl, bye.
Which I'm like,
she wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. I'm like, you really thought people were going to buy that?
And he said purely sex, end of story.
Okay.
Nobody, Fred.
No.
Nobody, Fred.
No.
And according to Fred, Lucy had become pregnant and started making demands of him.
Meanwhile, it's like, dude, we have her body. We can tell if she's pregnant or not.
And also, she got pregnant within a week. And also, she has close bonds to everyone around her.
Right.
She wasn't gone. Like, she never met you.
Exactly.
She didn't know who you were. She wouldn't have touched you with a 10-foot pole.
It's such a ridiculous story.
And she said, I want to come and live with you and all this crap. And I just grabbed her by the throat. Her wanted me to see her parents. Her wanted me to do bloody everything. Given that Fred lied about literally everything in his life, his background, his victims, everything he was a lying sack of fucking sewage.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Of course it is.
This is bullshit.
It makes absolutely no sense.
We know enough about Lucy. We know enough about people she knows, her family, her friends, everybody around her, to know that this is absolute horseshit. And not only is it horseshit, but how fucking dare that piece of shit?
It makes so much sense, though, because it's one more way for him to fuck with her living relatives and degrade her.
Yeah. And it's like, no, you snatched her. You kidnapped her. You abducted her. Like, fuck you. She would never come. Like, fuck you, dude. I hate these people so much. Now, it's bullshit. And the most likely scenario, and the one put forth by the prosecution, was that Fred and Rose saw Lucy waiting for the bus and offered her a ride.
Right.
Lucy was not one for hitchhiking and was pretty cautious, like, by all accounts.
I'm sure.
But, and this is rough, they suspect that one or more of the children was in the car, and the presence of the children put her at ease.
Wow.
And that's like, they put this forth during the trial that they believe that's what happened.
It makes sense.
Once they got her back to the house, she went through, a similar fate as the rest of the victims. And 4 months passed before Fred and Rose went out to get another victim. So they go through big periods of time.
But it seems to be after like a rather intense.
Very brutal, awful.
Yeah.
On the evening of April 15th, 1974, 21-year-old Therese, I hope I say her name right. She's from Switzerland, so I want to make sure I say it right. Therese Siegenthaler She went to a party at a friend's house to mark the start of her vacation. Like I said, she was born in Switzerland.
Right.
And Therese had been studying for a secretarial degree at Woolwich Polytechnic. Her instructors really liked her. They said she was a very quiet girl, but very confident.
Yeah.
On the night of the 15th, she went to a party in South London and stayed the night there. And she told her friends her plan was to hitchhike back to North Wales and take the ferry to Ireland. That was where she was going to be spending her break in Ireland. And again, all this hitchhiking and everything, very normal for the time.
Oh, yeah.
And for
we
the
say
area.
It all the time.
Yeah. Now, everybody was aware of the young women who'd gone missing in recent months. And so her friends kind of warned her about hitchhiking and were like, oh, I don't know, like it's getting a little scary out there right now.
Yeah.
But Therese just laughed and said, I can look after myself. I'm a judo expert.
Which I can understand that confidence.
Yeah, of course. So the following morning, Therese returned to her apartment to grab a few personal items and then went to catch the ferry from Wales. Now, assuming she had managed to get the boat to her destination, no one even realized Therese had gone missing until she didn't return to school the week after Easter break.
Oh, man.
So they just were like, oh, she made it to the boat. They just assumed,
Yeah.
Why would they not?
Right.
Like that she told them the plan. Okay. She went and executed the plan. Like, why would we think anything else? But then she didn't come back to school and they were like,
wait a second.
Wait. Therese was reported missing to police on April 26th, and investigators quickly learned that she had actually already paid in advance for some of the upcoming tests that she had later that spring in the Polytechnic University. So she wasn't disappearing.
Yeah, she had plans.
She had plans.
Stone.
She had paid in advance. So it was very unlikely that she would just decide not to return and give up that money.
Right.
Now, a search was mounted, but there was really, again, no evidence to work of. She vanished. There was no leads.
Right.
She left to go to the ferry and she didn't make it. Like, where did she go?
Yeah.
So the investigation just kind of went nowhere. And when they searched the house on Cromwell Street later, investigators did find the remains of Therese Siegenthaler buried in a grave in front of a false fireplace at their home. So, again, she went missing. No one knew anything.
Right.
Years went by. And no one knew anything. Her family didn't know anything. Her friends didn't know anything. She just vanished into thin air. And then when they dig up finally, like catch Fred and Rose and dig up the Cromwell Street home, they find her. I can't imagine that kind of like, it's the same thing as all of these other, like as Lucy, as like, you know, all these people. You have no fucking clue. Like Carol, you don't know what happened to them for years. Their family has no idea, no leads.
And you're filling in the blanks for all those years.
And just wondering what, and probably having the littlest sliver of hope that maybe they did just go off and they're living a life and everything's okay and they just needed to be themselves. Who knows? And then it's like, and then you find out that they've caught these two fucking horrific serial killers and they're digging up their home. And your loved one is one of those people.
Like your loved one has just been buried
you
in
had
their cellar.
No idea that they were in the clutches of these people at any point in their life. And that must just be the biggest punch to the face.
Absolutely.
Like,
it's beyond.
She was found in an awful way.
Okay.
So I just want to be clear about that. There were no clothes found with her remains. But she had a scarf folded and rolled and formed in a loop around her head and tied in a bow. Detectives believe that it was used to secure her mouth.
Oh my God.
It was literally tied in a bow.
That's the most haunting detail.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Fred said very little about Therese during his interrogation, but during Rose's trial, the prosecutor pointed out that Therese had no connections to the area and was likely picked up hitchhiking to the boat.
Right.
And they said the only reason to abduct her must have been so that she might be abused either sexually or physically or both.
Yeah.
And I believe so obviously she was found in a horrific way. There's one other victim that is found in, like, the thing that is found with her is very unsettling, just so you're aware that that's coming
warn
up.
you.
More than 7 months passed before they found another victim. And this one is 15-year-old Shirley Hubbard.
15 years old.
Yep. So Shirley, unfortunately, was like some of the other victims, led a difficult life for someone so young.
Yeah.
And had a history of, getting into trouble, running away, that kind of thing. After her parents separated when she was just 2 years old, she actually was put into foster care and bounced between a lot of homes until she was 6. When she was 6, she was placed with a foster family named Hubbard. And that's where she was living at the time she disappeared.
Yeah.
Like several of the other victims, Shirley had been in and out of trouble in the months before her disappearance and had even run away just a month earlier. So that's why it was tough when she disappeared, because she had been in this phase, you know?
When you wonder, you don't know what she was experiencing in foster
No, you have no
care.
idea. And again, she had been through a lot. So it's they act out,
Absolutely.
That happens. Now, a few weeks later, after she was found after running away, she had started dating a boy named Daniel Davis, whose brother, coincidentally, had dated Carol Cooper.
What the fuck?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just shows you what an area this is.
Yeah,
This
like
was
a
in,
smaller-
a small, concentrated area.
On November 14th, Shirley spent the day working the makeup counter at Debenham's department store in Worcester.
This part of the show is brought to you by Anua, the Korean skincare brand known for scientific, gentle, yet effective formulations. The latest from Anua is the Retinol Collagen Gua Sha Cream, a firming cream with a gua sha-shaped tip built right in. Have you guys heard of gua sha? It's that viral massage tool that moves fluid and tension out of your face. Less puffiness, a snatched jawline, honey, more definition in your face. Retinol firms and reduces fine lines, and collagen keeps your skin plump and structured. This cream has both of those things, arguably the most optimal combo for that snatched, lifted look all in one step. I am obsessed with the Gua Sha cream. First of all, it feels so cool to the touch. When you put that on your face, it's just like, this is lovely. It's like a little spa treatment that you can give yourself. I like to do mine at night after I get out of the shower. I rub the cream on my face with the little gua sha. I'm sculpting that jawline, honey. I got it on the cheekbones. And actually, I had a facial the other day, and the lady doing my facial, the professional, she said, "Do you use a gua sha at home?" And I said, "I do." And I said, "How did you know that?" And she said, "I didn't have those little bumps in my chin or different areas like that." So she could tell that I was using the gua sha. And I said, "Oh my God." I just feel like I wake up less puffy in the morning when I do it the night before. But you can do it whenever you want to. I, 10 out of 10, recommend this product. The Anua Gua Sha Cream value set is available at anua.com, already discounted. Use code MORBID for an extra 10% off. That's ANUA.com, code MORBID. The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Her shift ended that afternoon, and she met up with Daniel, and the two bought a bag of chips and sat by the river until around 9:30 p.m.
Oh.
And that's when Daniel walked her to the bus station.
Yeah.
A bus station. And waited with her until the bus arrived.
Wow.
So I was like,
good boy.
Good job, Daniel. They had plans to meet back at the bus stop the following day, but Shirley didn't show up. So he even waited with her until the bus came.
Right.
Daniel assumed at the time that she had found something else to do. He felt a little dejected. He was like, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But soon after, the Hubbards reported Shirley missing to police, and the investigation opened up. But like the other girls, it appeared as though she had vanished into thin air.
Right.
No trace. But obviously what happened was far worse. Now, in court, the prosecution speculated that Shirley had either been kidnapped or somehow manipulated into going to the house on Cromwell Street willingly, where she was abused, raped, and murdered. Her remains were discovered in a part of the basement investigators referred to as the Marilyn Monroe area.
What?
Because the wallpaper in that section of the room was all Marilyn Monroe.
What?
Which I don't know why that just gives me the...
It's such a strange juxtaposition.
Now, this is the one I was talking about. Shirley is the one that I was talking about that she's found in a really like unsettling
manner.
In court, the pathologist who exhumed the body referred to it as, quote, an extremely horrific discovery. Like the others, Shirley's head had been wrapped entirely in a tape mask, but inserted through the mask. Inserted through it was a plastic tube placed in the nostril portion, which protruded from the front. And a second piece of similar tubing was also found at the burial site. When the prosecution asked what purpose this mask could have served, the pathologist said, quote, that can only have been for sexual gratification so that her living but restrained body could be used and abused at will.
Oh my God. That's like...
That part has been sticking with me for days.
So they just kept her alive like that for however long?
Just enough that she could breathe out of her nose. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How are people this sick?
Like,
how are people this absolutely fucked in the head?
Humans.
And she's humans. I like literally wanted.
Yeah, it makes me sick. Like I literally feel sick to my stomach in this one. Like sick to my stomach. Like that part. Oh. I mean, all of it is just, but that for some reason is just the image of that, like the visage of that in my brain is, I keep having to wipe it away to try to make it go away because I'm like, just
I know.
Don't even try to conjure that image in your head. Because fortunately, I've never looked at any kind of crime scene thing about this.
No, I could never,
and I will not be doing that. But the image my brain has conjured of that mask is bad enough.
Yeah, I genuinely like. How does your mind go there?
That's the thing. I'm like, who thought of that?
And how the fuck did they find each other, dude?
Yeah, that's the thing. And procreated.
And to think that Shirley is in that state while there's kids. 4 kids running around the house. Oh my God.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I'm not kidding you. It makes my stomach turn.
No, it's just a wild thing to imagine.
Now, by this point, a pattern appears to have emerged where Fred and Rose are kidnapping and killing at least one young woman every 5 or 6 months at least.
Yeah.
And with the exception of Lucy and Therese, most have come from, dysfunctional upbringings, like trauma upbringings. Unsurprisingly, the victim profile is almost certainly what allowed them to continue killing for as long as they did.
Yeah.
In fact, of the victims that went missing at the time, the murder of Lucy was described as, quote, the one that attracts the most anger.
Right. Which is sad.
Yeah. And it was the one that received the most coverage and part of that was because of her uncle's fame as a novelist.
Yeah, I wondered that.
Had people / the media expressed as much outrage over the other victims,
it would have been different.
Many of them, because nobody was really expressing as much anger because they disappeared. We don't know where they went. Well, they were a runaway.
Right. And there's not a ton of family members like contacting the media or like getting in touch with anybody because unfortunately some of these girls just didn't even have anybody.
Exactly. They either didn't have anybody or the people they had been through these moments of them disappearing for a little while. So they were just like, well, and then the media is like, well, they're a runaway. What's the story? Like they probably just ran away. And they were in trouble and such.
Should always be a story.
Absolutely. And if people or the media had made or expressed any outrage about these victims, it's possible that connections could have been made.
Yeah.
More connections and connections to the Wests themselves. Yep. I mean, maybe some of this carnage could have been avoided, which is really frustrating. But Juanita Mott was a lot like the other young women who had been picked up by Fred and Rose.
Yeah.
But in her case, they didn't abduct her because she was lodging in their home. She was one of those lodgers. Juanita's parents divorced when she was very young, and her home life had been difficult. When she reached her teen years, the same kind of story. She was described as rebellious, very, defiant, very strong-willed. And so she dropped out of high school and left home when she was just 15 years old and ended up bouncing around from, one place to another, just kind of staying wherever she could.
Trying to get by.
And that's finally when she found that cheap room for rent at 25 Cromwell Street. And she moved in for just £7 per week, and she had moved in during the summer of 1974. Now, despite the cheap rent charged by Fred, Juanita's income was pretty inconsistent. And so she kind of would like bounce out of the house into the house. Like she could pay it sometimes, she couldn't pay it other times.
Right.
And at the time of her disappearance in April 1975, Juanita was 18 years old and had been staying with a friend in the small town of Newent in Gloucestershire. Since she was unemployed at the time and didn't have money for public transit, she often would hitchhike or rely on that kind of thing to get around. And investigators believe that Fred and Rose would have regularly traveled through that place, and they theorized that sometime on or around April 12th, they must have passed by Juanita hitchhiking along the route, stopped to offer her a ride, and she was like, oh, I've lived in their house before. I know them.
Why would you think there's any danger? You've literally lived in this house.
You lived in their house.
Like,
why would you
these
ever?
are not strangers you're getting in a car with.
I know them, so she would have no reservations about getting
Not
into
at
a
all.
car with them, and probably wasn't even alarmed when they returned to the West's house rather than going where Juanita was headed.
Yeah. I'm sure they explained it away like, oh, I just have to grab this or, you know, whatever.
And she's like, okay, I know you guys. It's fine.
Yeah, like, well, no worries.
The prosecution said during Rose's trial, the conclusion is perfectly clear. Juanita was brought to Cromwell Street, almost inevitably having been picked up whilst hitchhiking. She died while she was being degraded, either as being part of what her attackers found doubtless fun or because she could not be released afterwards.
Doubtless fun.
Because they had fun, they said. They admitted that they found
That's
enjoyment.
the other thing. It's crazy to like come across a story like this where people do these things, and it's even crazier when they admit how much joy they got out of it.
That they had fun with someone in the most horrific terror you can ever imagine.
Like your brain just doesn't comprehend how that's even possible. Like how are their brains capable of having fun when people are dying and at your hands? Like I don't get it.
No. That's why it's such a out of reality kind of thing. When you look at it, you're just like, I connect with this as another human being, even because, and this is like a silly example, but it's just a way when, even on like TikTok, when stupid parent influencers will like scare their child for likes.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like that's fucked up. Like fuck you if you do that.
Agreed.
And I will get like so angry seeing that. I'm like, no, not interested. Like I'm like,
I always
show
get
me
not
that.
interested.
Because seeing a child, even when I know they're fine and
they're not being
their
like
parent is doing
physically
this
harmed.
to just be a dick because
Get
they want
clicks.
their likes. Seeing fear on somebody's face like that, especially a young person, or sadness or any kind of like, that will fuck me up for the rest of the day.
No,
like
same.
I'll be like, I will think about that kid I don't know for like the rest of the fucking day, even though they're perfectly safe, likely, and everything is like.
And that's because that's how we're designed as humans. Like you're supposed to feel empathy,
that
and
kind
compassion.
Of thing. Seeing someone in fear, genuine fear, seeing someone in pain, seeing someone sad, seeing someone upset. That's supposed to make you stop what you're doing.
To think of one person completely void of that, finding another person completely void of that, and teaming up is so much more than nightmarish. I'm trying not to say beyond because I just keep saying it.
Oh, I didn't even. Well, it's honestly, it just feels like existential. You know, like it just feels like totally outside. It doesn't feel like we're on the same plane of reality, which like I don't think we are.
No, we're definitely
not. I really don't. I don't feel like we are all on the same plane of reality that Fred and Rosemary West of the world are on. Yeah. I feel like there's just some disconnect there. I mean, there's many disconnects, but like there is, someday we'll know, but like someday we'll find out what that disconnect is. 'Cause I just can't. I cannot.
No.
These kind of things are just like so fucked up. We've been doing this for 6 years.
And it's still absolutely blows my mind.
It will never fail to churn my stomach, these kind of stories. It's
And
just
these specific kind of cases, like these really gruesome ones, they
like the Myra Hindleys and especially it's the couples that like for some reason really get me.
and even like the Albert Fish one, I think, because that was kids, and like this one obviously has kids. It really sticks with you.
The people that are like just the sadists who find enjoyment.
Yeah.
You know, those are the ones that you're just like, that I don't even know if psychiatry can explain you. I don't think anything can explain you.
I'm like, let's just go fully paranormal.
Honestly. Like this tough. This one's been tough. But don't worry, we are gonna
I'm kidding.
We're gonna take a little I'm going to need a
paranormal
case
moment
that's not as heavy, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can do it. I always say that and then I end up being sorry, I'm doing a really awful case now.
Yeah, you've been hella brutal lately.
So maybe I'll do like a spooky road or a spooky castle, something, you know, or a survival tale. There you go.
Sometimes those are like
Sometimes
so
those can be
gruesome,
tough too. We'll find something that, you know, I can take a second for the next one.
Yeah.
But now out of any sense of being humanity here, once they got back to the house, investigators believe that Juanita was sexually assaulted and then was gagged with a ligature made from 2 of Rose's nylon socks, and she was hogtied with plastic-covered rope, similar to that used on the washing line in the backyard. They were all found in her grave with her remains.
That's awful. It's so weird to think of these people even like having socks and a washing line.
Yeah, they're just like having human things.
That's so human.
Yeah. After she was killed, Fred dismembered Juanita's body and buried her in the basement alongside the others. He also kept several of the bones again.
Yeah.
By the time her remains were exhumed in 1994, too much time had passed to really say what the cause of death was. But a pathologist speculated that given the way the ropes were tied, because she was tied up, like hog-tied.
Yeah, which is so...
He believes it was most likely strangulation that she was killed by. But he said there was also an unusual fracture at the base of her skull that was caused by what he believes is a hammer.
Oh my God.
But the angle at which it was inflicted would have prevented the amount of force necessary to kill her.
So that was just...
So that would have not been the fatal blow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So she went through that fully alive.
Oh yeah, she went through horrors. Oh. Yeah. They remind me of the toolbox murders a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did shit like this.
Yeah.
Like torture. Now, during their most prolific period in the early to mid 1970s, local police were not entirely ignorant to Fred and Rose West. Like they were known.
Yeah,
for sure.
they had that whole fucking court case where the judge was like, I think it's...
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat, comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
Yeah, it's fine. And in fact, throughout this period, police often visited the house at Cromwell Street to interrogate Fred about petty thefts or minor drug offenses that he was regularly committing at the time.
To think that they were just one floor above all of these missing girls.
Yeah. And I'm like, no one questioned if that was a safe place for children. I can't imagine that these people came off as stellar parents. Like, no one was thinking maybe just throw a report in.
Right.
Like,
I mean, these kids had already been dropped off and picked up from CPS or foster care how many times?
Nobody wanted to make like some kind of wellness check on those children if he's committing like offenses all the time.
And like even young 20-something-year-old nannies are like, yeah, the children seemed really completely different when the parents were around. It's like, you would think someone in law enforcement would notice that.
Well, given the like frequency with which young women were disappearing at the time during this time period, it's pretty fucked up that they never suspected the Wests of being involved, especially considering their histories, which we've already gone over, that they got totally scot-free away with one.
Yep.
And they had known connections to some of these missing girls.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they were entirely, not all of them, for sure. Like some of them really did just vanish into thin air by all accounts and then were found later. But there were a couple that, like, at least had,
lived in their house, rented a room from them, worked for them as a nanny. Like
there were ones that victims that you could sit there and say, okay, well, there is a connection. No one looked into it.
Do you think they did and it was just that they just didn't have the evidence?
I don't know.
But I don't know. Do a search warrant.
Try
it seems like the shit was everywhere.
Well, and it did seem that the increased attention on Fred's, petty crimes at the time did seem to act as like somewhat of a deterrent for them.
Okay.
At least for a little while, because after the murder of Juanita, 3 years passed before they killed again that we know of.
I was going to say.
Now, Fred and Rose may have put a hold on the murders between mid-1975 and, the middle of 1978. But that didn't mean that they stopped victimizing girls entirely. We just don't know if they murdered anyone. With an increased focus on missing women in the area, it would have been unwise on their part, if you're looking at it from their point of view, to keep abducting girls.
Yeah.
So instead, they shifted their attention to girls living at Jordan's Brook House, which was a home for troubled girls.
Nice.
It was established in 1970 as kind of a last stop for teenagers who'd been kicked out of every other institution and foster home.
Right.
This home was less of a care facility, and it was kind of like borderline juvenile detention center.
Oh.
For Fred and Rose, these were precisely the type of vulnerable and emotionally fragile young women that Fred could manipulate.
Yep.
In the summer of 1976, a 15-year-old resident referred to only as Miss A moved into Jordan's Brook after 2 years spent bouncing around between other placements. Before that, she had lived with her biological parents, but was removed from the home once the authorities learned that she was actually being sexually abused by both her father and her brother.
Oh, my God.
These poor girls.
Yeah.
Like, you hear, again, just a life of knowing nothing.
Going through it.
But awful shit.
Yeah. And like not having any home.
No. And by that point, Fred had made a habit of offering these girls rides whenever he saw them on the street. So he was like, yeah, he was using this.
How philanthropic.
And he would quickly become a shoulder to cry on for some of these girls, and included Miss A. Now, a few months after moving in, Miss A ran away from the school and went right to the West's house.
Because she probably had built a relationship with Fred, like not like a romantic one, but...
Yep. But she was met at the door by Rose, who was dressed, quote, only in her bra and pants, and made sexual advances towards Miss A.
Gross.
It's unclear whether anything occurred at the time, but according to a court testimony given at Rose's trial, Miss A returned to the house a little over a month later, and that's when she was talked into where she was sexually assaulted by Fred and Rose.
Yeah.
According to that testimony, she was taken into a room where there were 2 other naked girls who she did not know. After being undressed by Fred, the girls were secured with packing tape and sexually assaulted by both Rose and Fred.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Next, they taped Miss A to the bed and, quote, Frederick West had sexual intercourse with her while Rosemary West fondled her thighs.
I hate that they say he had sexual intercourse with her.
Thank you, because that bothers me.
No, he raped her.
He raped her.
She's a 15, 16-year-old girl. He raped her. And she's taped to the bed.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you saying he had
consensual.
sexual intercourse with her?
Like, he raped her. They both raped her.
Oh my God, this is so horrible.
After the assault, the girl was allowed to leave, likely because Fred and Rose assumed that she wouldn't say anything about the attack.
Probably that she didn't have anybody to tell.
That's the thing. Who's she going to tell?
And I'm sure they thought she wouldn't be believable anyway.
And she didn't. She didn't tell anybody because she didn't have anybody. A few weeks later, Miss A returned to the house with a can of gasoline she'd taken from the gardening shed at Jordansbrook, intending to burn the house down. But definitely say that he had sexual intercourse with her again.
Yeah, totally.
They raped her, and she was fucking angry.
And I don't blame her for being angry.
And honestly, I wish she had been able to.
Yeah.
But she's a literal child.
Yup.
She's a child, so she lost her nerve when she reached the door and went back to Jordansbrook.
Wow.
When the prosecutor asked why she didn't report the assaults to anyone, Miss A said it was because, quote, she felt ashamed and guilty.
Oh.
Which is that's exactly what Rose and Fred want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they want.
And that's what so many women and men feel when they're sexually assaulted.
Yeah. Like, you feel ashamed.
And that's
you feel
what
guilty.
The abuser preys upon.
Of course. And that's exactly what they do. When Fred and Rose did decide to kill again, they chose yet another victim who was unlikely to be reported missing. It's unclear how they first met or how the relationship actually began, but Shirley Ann Robinson was either 17 or 18 years old when she met Fred West in the spring of 1977, and their relationship quickly became sexual. Like many of the other victims, Shirley had come from a very difficult background and had been placed in foster care periodically throughout her entire life. In April, she moved in with Fred and Rose, and at least initially, the sexual relationship was with both Fred and Rose, and it was consensual according to all involved.
Okay.
But things changed when Shirley became pregnant with Fred's baby, and Rose became abusive towards her. Like Anne McFall, Shirley, who had been raised in chaos, saw this baby as her ticket to stability and a future with Fred. It's the same kind of story.
It is.
In November 1977, she wrote to her father in Germany to tell him all about her new relationship, and even included a picture of her and Fred holding hands.
Wow.
Saying, quote, "This is the man I'm going to marry. What do you think of him, Dad? I've never been so happy in my life."
Oh, no.
Now, whatever she said in her private letters was one thing, but eventually Shirley began telling others in the house that she and Fred were going to be married, which Rose did not like.
Uh-huh.
By late fall, things in the West House had become wildly tense. Fred had begun working with Rose's father to build a small cafe downtown, which it's like, so he's just building a cafe downtown.
No, thank
this
you.
Man.
Don't you dare get anywhere near a cup of coffee,
no,
Fred.
Don't you do it. And the two men planned to operate as a small business together. But the stresses of that project had increased the fighting between Rose and Fred because they were pieces of shit and they hated each other in all actuality.
Yeah.
Like neither one of them knows love, that's not how that works. And they had taken it out on Shirley as well. By the time the cafe project was finished, Rose had successfully convinced Fred to end his relationship with Shirley. At this point, their attitudes towards Shirley became very cold and very hostile.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, the tension became too much, and Shirley moved out of her room in the main house and started sleeping on the couch of another lodger, Liz Brewer, who lived on the second floor.
Okay, still at the house.
Yeah. One day in early May, Liz Brewer returned home to find Shirley and her belongings completely gone from the room. So she asked Fred where she had gone, and he told her she'd gone to visit relatives in Germany.
Yeah.
Given that Shirley was more than 8 months pregnant and her baby was due to be born the following month, that seemed a little strange to Liz that she would just be jumping on a plane.
8 months pregnant.
But she didn't know Shirley that well, so she didn't really question it that much because she was like, okay. Like,
and she's probably seen all kinds of weird shit around this house, and she's like, I'm not getting my nose in it.
Now, unlike the other murders, which were committed, because they are fucked up and they got some kind of gratification, sexual and otherwise, from them, investigators believe that the murder of Shirley Ann Robinson was committed because she presented a threat to Fred and Rose's relationship, according to Rose.
Yeah.
While the other bodies appeared to have been dismembered in a methodical manner, Shirley's body appeared to have been, quote, hacked into pieces with either an axe or a cleaver.
And first of all, he's able to do all of this to all of these women, but there's a almost like fully grown baby in her belly.
Yes.
Like people have babies at 8 months. Like,
yeah.
He just killed a baby too.
His baby.
His own baby.
Mm-hmm.
And like dismembered.
He just killed his own baby, infant.
And dismembered.
Yep.
Both people.
Yep.
What? Why did I not remember this from, I've heard this case before.
I did not know any of this because I never looked this hard into the case until now.
No,
so
I mean, I've heard it told before, but
I knew the overview of things. I did not know all these details.
Wow.
Once he had finished dismembering or hacking apart Shirley's body, Fred buried her in the back garden because he'd run out of space in the basement.
Okay. He had run out of space.
Ran out of space. Now, taking Fred at his word that Shirley had gone back to Germany, no one reported Shirley missing and assumed she had just gone to visit family in Germany. That's where her family was.
Yeah.
So no one here could say otherwise. A short time later, when the Department of Social Services reached out to Shirley at Cromwell Street, which was her last known address, they were told she no longer lived there. The DSS worker on the case, Peter Gregson, just couldn't shake the feeling that something at the West House wasn't right.
That's a pretty solid feeling.
And he didn't believe the explanation he was given about her having gone back to Germany. But the problem was he had little authority to press the matter any further, and the case was closed. But he was trying. He was something's amiss. By 1979, Fred was often preoccupied with the cafe at this point because now he's got a thriving business, everybody.
What the fuck? That's...
Yeah.
What?
And Rose was,
Not a cafe.
Yeah, a cafe. And Rose was supplementing the income by engaging in sex work, which Fred would often watch through one of the various peepholes he'd installed in the walls of the room that Rose used to entertain clients.
Okay.
So maybe it was this voyeurism that was enough to satisfy him for a little while.
Time being.
But for whatever the reason, more than a year went by before they killed again. And we're gonna stop there.
That's good because
that's a lot.
Break into pieces,
and more is coming. So I'm gonna stop there before part 4, which is going to be the final part because it needs to be the final part.
Yeah. Okay. So we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about protein lately, but how do you actually get enough of it? Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk has a great tasting new formula with no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or added colors. It's high quality, complete protein designed to support healthy muscles with fewer ingredients than the previous formula and 26 to 42 grams of protein for when you're stuck in meetings or need a post-workout recovery. Available in chocolate, vanilla cream, cookies and cream, and strawberries and cream. Try the new great tasting Muscle Milk today. Available in stores nationwide. Muscle Milk. Protein for all.
Your phone is your lifeline. Calling your kid to say goodnight, waiting on a job callback, or just sending a meme to your best friend when it's been that kind of day. Wherever life takes you, the Text Now app keeps you connected for free. Get a real phone number, unlimited talk and text, and 5G data for your favorite apps, all for $0 a month. No fixed contracts, no hidden fees, no panic when bills pile up, just phone service that's there when it matters most. Text Now. We've got your back. Download Text Now in your app store today. Wireless plans require the purchase of a SIM card. Visit textnow.com for terms and conditions.